Hi, welcome to my Minecraft tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make a large steam turbine from Gregtech. I'm not going to show you all the recipes, I'm just going to show you the basics, how to build it, and most important, how to use it and how to make it work in an actual game you're playing on a server multiplayer single player where we have. So let me just start straight away. I'll build the large steam turbine, and I'm using standard machine casing, and it is built like this, 3 by 3 by 4, and you need to leave some hollow places on the top, on sides, in front and in the back. Then I'm going to use an input hatch on each side. You can use output hatch as well, but this turbine only outputs water, so I don't think that's necessary, so I'm going to use only input. And then in the front I'll put the steam turbine itself, and as you can see you have this nice texture in the front, and dynamo hatch in the back, and then maintenance hatch on the top like this, and we don't need this one, and that's it. Now this thing consumes 1600 millibuckets of steam per tick, which is a lot. So the way you can feed it that amount is to build a thermoboiler which produces that amount. Actually, one thermoboiler produces 800 millibuckets of steam per tick, so you need two of them. But to transport that amount to the turbine, you cannot use pipes or liquid ducts because they just won't do. They cannot transport that much amount. I think they can handle up to 160 millibuckets of steam per tick, but we need 800 on each side, so it just won't do. It won't work. So I'm going to build the thermoboiler right next to the steam turbine, and I'll show you why in a second. It's built like this. You build a frame and you will leave a hollow place on each side like this. Then you put, I'm going to put the output hatch from the thermoboiler facing input hatch of the steam turbine, so it's going to feed the steam turbine directly without any pipes. That's the best solution, but to do that you need a pump module, because if you just put it here it won't work. You need something to transfer the steam between them. So you can use pump module by placing it on the input hatch of the steam turbine. So place it just by right clicking, and then you need screwdriver to set it to import. Okay, now we need to put output hatch from the thermoboiler on exactly on opposite to the input hatch. So I'm going to put it over here, and if I place it like this, it'll make sure that it's facing this side. Because if you put it like this, it's facing me, it's not facing that one, so it won't work. So you need to place it like this, and in this case they are both facing each other, and they're going to it is going to transport the steam straight from the thermoboiler to the steam turbine. So I'm going to do it like this, and I need to set, actually you need to set this one with screwdriver as well to output steam, otherwise it won't work. So don't forget about it, it's very important. You need to set both these and these, output hatch and input hatch, to make sure that they are importing and exporting the right stuff. as I showed you. Okay, I'm going to fill these gaps back again, and on the back side I'm going to put input hatch on the side over here, maintenance hatch in the front. I'm going to use thermal boiler itself, which looks like this, and on the top I'm going to put input hatch as well, like this. The only place left is on the bottom, and that's gonna be another output hatch, but this one will set to items only. Okay, I think we are all set, and I'm going to build exactly the same one on the other side. So just in case you missed something, I'll show it again. Just build a frame, and this time we are using reinforced machine casing. In the front, thermal boiler, on the sides, maintenance hatch, and over here I'm going to put a pump module on this one, on the input hatch of the steam turbine, like this, and set it with a screwdriver to import. Then I'm going to place a output hatch from the thermal boiler and set it to steam. Let me just check this. Steam. And I hope I didn't click this one. Did I? Oops. Okay. Let me just do it quickly once again. So input hatch like this, pump module like this, set it to import, then we put output hatch over here and set it to steam. There we go. Let me just fill this up. On the back side we want to have input hatch. On the top we want to have another input hatch, sorry, like this, and on the bottom we want to have output hatch. It is basically up to you where you put each hatch or maintenance or whatever. They can be on any side, but this is the configuration I'm using and I found it working for me. So, but as I said, it's up to you. If you find different configuration that's better for you, go ahead, feel free. It's still gonna work. But make sure the output hatch of this thing is facing input hatch of that thing, and you have pump module in between, and all is set export, import, steam. And I think we're done. Now we need to find a way to feed these things with lava and water, because thermal boiler needs water and lava to make steam. To feed it with water, it's very easy. You just need, you can use a pipe, for example. Pipe would do. It doesn't consume that much water, but I found aqueous accumulator will do the trick just fine. So it is not that costly, so it's quite easy to make. So that's the way I use it, and that's the way I found it works quite well for me. It's just enough. It produces enough water to feed the thermal boiler basically forever if you want. So no other pipes or pumps are necessary for this. Oops, there we go. And now we need some water. Do I have some? I do. Oops, okay, that's not the way I want it. And here, you just need two sides of the aqueous accumulator must be water blocks, and if you have that, it's going to work. And as you can see, it is producing water, but it's pumping all the water straight down to the thermal boiler. Once that's filled, this is going to fill up as well, but for the moment it's filling up the thermal boiler with water, and it's going to supply it with water basically forever. The two blocks are never going to run out or anything. And now we need to fix these things, because once you build steam turbine as well as the thermal boilers, you're going to see all these error messages that says screws are missing, something is stuck, platings are dented, circuitry burned out. That doesn't belong here. And for that we need to use the maintenance hatch. You just right click it, and then you use all the tools like crowbar, soldering iron, wrench, rubber hammer, then steel hammer or any other hammer, bronze hammer, tungsten steel, whatever you have, screwdriver. And I think we fixed all the, yes, we fixed all the error messages that were here, and we have to do this with all three of these. Sorry, I need to go to the maintenance edge, so right here, and we need to do it again, and this one, crowbar, steel hammer, screwdriver, and yep, it's done, and this one as well. And once they're all done, we're good to go. And once in a while, every few hours, not very often, in my experience, once every 6-8 hours, there's going to pop up some problem again, like plates are dented, so you need to go and smash it with a hammer bit. But it happens, like as I said, once in a 6-7-8 hours. Okay, we're good to go. Now the only thing left is to feed these things with lava. And again, these things use a lot of lava, and I mean a huge, crazy amount, so no pipe or liquid arc will do the trick. You need some different way to feed it, and the only way I found, and it works for me perfectly, is to use steel tanks from Railcraft. So I'm going to quickly build 2 steel tanks, and I'll be back in a second, because if you use pipes and you pump the lava from some lava lake or something, it is going to work, but this one will be just flashing once every 2 seconds or something, and this will not turn almost at all. It will just move a bit every 5 seconds or something. So you need a huge amount of lava to supply this to make sure they are running constantly, and if they are both running constantly, this thing is going to work constantly as well. So that's why we need some other means to feed this enough lava to make it work. And that's why I'm going to build 2 steel tanks. You can build iron tanks if you want, but steel tanks have higher capacity. I'm going to use them, and I'll be I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, I built 2 large steel tanks. Well, they're actually not that large. I think that's the smallest size that can be, but that's just enough. And I filled them up a little bit with lava. It's not much, but just for the demonstration. Now, if you want to put a pipe here, it won't work. As I said, it just doesn't have the transfer rate we're looking for. So we can use this thing, machine box from the Gregtech. It doesn't have any specific purpose unless you use some modules on it, like we have a pump module here. And I'm going to use the pump module on each side. One is going to face the valve on the steel tank, and the other is going to face the input hatch on the thermal boiler. So one here, this one is going to face the valve, one here, this one is going to face the input hatch. Now I'm going to use screwdriver, and the face that is this one, the side is going to face the valve on a steel tank need to be set to import by right-clicking with a screwdriver. Import, and you can see all the other options, but we are going to set it to import. So the side that is going to face this valve need to be set to import, and then we can pick it up. Just be careful, make sure you place it the right way the first time, because otherwise it won't work. You cannot rotate it, you cannot turn it with the wrench or anything else. When I pick it up and I place it anywhere else in the world, it's still going to be facing the same way. So I'm going to place it right here, and I'm sure now that the one face I set to import is facing this valve. These machine boxes need some power to work, so I'm going to feed them. They only consume up to 32 EU per tick, and in this setting they're actually using very little amount of energy, and I just put some quantum generators here. They're set up to 32. So even if you have a bad box or some low-level solar panel, it would do the trick, because they, as I said, they use very little amount of energy. This one is set. Okay, we're good to go. And now, if everything is okay, if everything is set as it's supposed to be, we should start the thermal boilers by hitting them with a rubber hammer. So here it goes. Oh, and it's working. That's nice. This one as well. And if those input and output hatches are set properly, the steam should be now going into the thermal boiler, and if you right click it, it should start, but it doesn't. And why it doesn't is because there is no rotor here, and I completely forgot about it. So we need to place a rotor there, and I'm going to, you have different types: bronze, steel, magnesium, tungsten steel, and carbon. I'm going to use the carbon because the efficiency is 125%, so it's the best one, but on the other side it has the lowest durability. It has only 2,500 durability. For example, tungsten steel has 30,000. That's way better. But from my experience, this one will last for a few days, like in a real life days, not the Minecraft days. So even this one is you don't have to check it like every 5 seconds or every 5 minutes. It will last for a good bit of time, but you need to check it once in a while, because if the turbine is running and this one is completely, the durability reach 0, all this machine will explode. And I don't know how big the explosion is, but what I can imagine is pretty big. So make sure you have the rotor in a good condition. Okay, we put it here, and now if I hit it with a rubber hammer, it should start, and it is. That's great. So now we are making electricity. And let me just put, but as you can see, the lava is going down very fast. So I'm going to put very quickly HV transformer on this side. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop it for a second. This one as well. And I'm going to first set the HV transformer over here, because otherwise it won't work. Actually, I'll put it like this. I just want to make sure the red dot, the input dot is facing the output hatch, so that's why I'm placing it like this. Now I'm sure the red dot is on that side. So it is producing definitely more than 512 EU per tick. So if you're using glass fiber cable, it won't do. It will just burn, because optic fiber cable can only handle up to 512 EU per tick, but this machine is going to produce over 1000. So that's why you need the HV transformer, high voltage transformer, and then you can from this thing you can use the fiber cable with no problem. And I'm going to set a MFSU here if I can find it. There it is. Okay, and just to make sure it's facing. Is this input or output? Okay, I never know. I think that's input. Or is it? Actually, is it output? Never know this. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. So, first of all, we'll start this thing. Okay. And if I get my EU reader, there it is. We can check how much energy are we making. And as you can see, we're running very, very fast. 1024 EU per tick. That's a huge amount. Okay. Let me check. Oh, it is charging. Okay. And as you can see, we already got 400,000, which is great. But we are very quickly running out of lava. It was half full, and in just a few seconds, just a few minutes, we're running this thing. It's completely gone. So that's another problem I'm going to cover, and that's how to feed these two steel tanks with enough lava. So this is it from this part, and I'm going to my actual server game I'm playing, and I'm going to show you how I figure this out, how to make this thing running, because as you can see, it will run out of lava. Even if you have full tank, it will run out of lava in a matter of a few minutes. So you need to keep this thing, like, you need a lot of lava to keep this thing running. Okay, let me just show you one last thing, and that's the output hatch that we place on the bottom. And as you can see, as a byproduct, it's producing obsidian. And you can use a lava filter, and if you place it here, it's going to produce not just obsidian, but some metal ingots as well, like copper, tin, and electrum. And I will show you that in a minute, because I'm going to other world I'm playing, and it's a server multiplayer game, and I'm going to show you the practical use I have for this machine. So bear with me, I'll be with you in a second. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, this is the world I'm playing at the moment. It's a multiplayer server, and I have exactly the same setup as I showed you before. Two thermal boilers right next to a large steam turbine, two aqueous accumulators on top, and two steel tanks in the back feeding the thermal boilers. As you can see, I have 4 liquid tesseracts on each one. So there is one pump for each tesseract in different dimension. I started with nether, and now I am using a different one. I will show you in a second. So I have 4 pumps feeding this thing, and as you can see, it's not dropping. I think 4 is more or less enough. Although after a few hours of playing, it will slowly drop, because it is actually the consumption of these thermal boilers is a little bit higher than production of 4 pumps. So I think 5 would be ideal. 4 is enough. It will take many hours to drain this, but it will actually slowly drain the lava. I just turned it on so it was full, but after a few hours it will slowly drain. But for the moment it's okay for me, but in the future I will probably add another pump. So I'm using Liquid Shark to teleport the lava from different dimensions, as I said. It's set to receive only, transfer mode, and it is more or less enough to feed those two thermal boilers. And you can see exactly the same setup. I have the HV transformer, and the cable is going down to my metal fabricator, and it is running quite fast. And actually that's because I have another generator, and it's the Dragon Egg generator, which produces another 1000 EU per tick, so this one is getting over 2000 EU per tick, and it is running fairly fast. And as you can see, this is output from my thermal boilers, and I put lava filters there, and as you can see it is creating not just obsidian but ingots as well, and as you can see at enormous rate you're going to get crazy amount of obsidian. I have a ME chest right here, and this thing was full. It was 64,000. It was completely full, and I started to put it in a recycler I have down there in the basement, and I'm creating a scraps from the recycler, and the scrap is going directly to the mass fabricator, so it's all the time full. And as you can see, I have already 22,000 scraps. That's just crazy amount, and 9,000 copper, 2,000 tin, and 2,000 electrum, and I already used several thousand of the tin to make solar panels or something. Another thing I want to show you, you can start with the nether to pump the lava, but as I said, the nether is like the place to start, but it's not the ideal solution because the lakes they're big, but they're not very deep, so you're going to eventually run out of lava, and if you have 8 pumps pumping lava out of a lake in a nether, is going to suck it dry pretty quickly. Well, not in a matter of hours, but in a day or two. So you're going to you either need to move them a lot around, or you need to come up with a better solution, and this is what I came up with. I'm using this is FTB server, so it's Feed the Beast Unleashed version, and I'm using Mistcraft mod to create a lava dimension. In order to create it, you need symbols, which is very hard to obtain. You need very specific symbols. I'll show you which ones. Ocean biome, single biome, lava block, and a standard terrain, I think. And that will create you an infinite lava ocean. And let me just show you. This is the lava ocean I created, and as you can see, it is sucking the ocean at enormous rate. This was filled with lava up to here, so all this is gone. But it took days, literally. I mean, not Minecraft days, I mean the real days. And I have 8 pumps here. I put them a little bit too far away. I didn't know what's the range of the pumps, so I put them a little bit too far. But as you can see, they already sucked the ocean, well, quite a bit. You can see the seabed down there, and I'm using chunk loader keep them running when I'm not here, because otherwise they won't work if I'm not in this dimension, if I'm in the overworld. And here is the export tesseract that is send only, and four pumps for each tank. So that's I think that's the best way to do it. That's kind of, now it can run forever, but as I said, I need to put fifth, I think, on each, because eventually this will start running out, and I'll have to turn it off for a few minutes. But it is kind of okay, because as I said, it takes hours to drain the tank. So for the moment, running perfectly. And this one, I'm using the carbon turbine rotor, and as you can see, it is now 1930, and this one is working for a few days now. So it is pretty much okay. And one thing I want to show you is, as I said, these machine boxes, the things are pumping the lava out of the tanks, need some power, but as you can see, they are supplied with this MFE, and this MFE doesn't have any source. It's just I just charge it, and it's been here for a few days, and this is how much it uses. As you can see, it's not using a lot of power. Actually, it's using very little. It will drop a little bit in every, I don't know, 10 seconds. As you can see, now it dropped a bit. So it is using very little power, but still it needs power to run. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this green dot, or if you are using default texture pack, the one side with the dot is actually output, is not input, so the cable must go in a different side. And I think that's it. I think that's it covers all the stuff I wanted to say. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.